Hi, everyone. Don Giannatti from Lighting Essentials and Project 52, and I'm here with Tammy Boegestrand from Denmark. At least that's what the government wants us to believe. Tammy, as well as
Yeah.
being a wonderful photographer, is also a nuclear scientist on the land. No, I'm just kidding about that part. Um,
I suck at math, so no.
I just blew your cover big time. I've watched too much NCIS. That's what it is. Everybody I see is a suspect. You know what I'm saying? It's just automatic. Anyway,
Look, no fingerprints.
there. I think all those years in the dark room burned mine off.
Oh, yeah.
Tammy has been in Project 52 for a number of years and is still a member, and we love having her there. And I can remember when you first started, you were kind of out in the weeds a little bit photographically, just sort of like butterflies and flowers and whatever was happening over in the
Yeah.
and you really I know we're not going to talk about the client because we can't, but you're doing some industrial shoots here that look pretty
Yeah.
pretty fun.
It's really interesting because I get access to places you don't normally get access to, and I get to wear a hard hat sometimes, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm been a bit of a tomboy all my life, so doing stuff like this is pretty cool. Nothing I had expected. It just came kind of out of the blue via a friend of mine, and it's just been snowballing. I have a shoot to do on Monday, so two actually. That's going to be really exciting. So it's just kind of, I just say yeah. I mean, and then if I'll figure it out later. So. But I wouldn't have said yes to it if I hadn't been through P52 because it gave me the ballast to be able to ask the right questions and have an idea of if it's something I could do. So
I know I love that post on Facebook that you were like, oh wow, I knew exactly the right questions to ask,
yeah,
and so yeah, then things happen.
yeah. So
Sometimes the questions are more important than the answers.
exactly they are, and there were some questions I forgot to ask. There were some directions I went that maybe I should have gone left instead of right. Like I was corresponding with my friend instead of directly with the person who's in charge of such things at the site. So that's one thing I learned, go through your friend maybe, but ask them, okay, who should I be corresponding with on these cases? So things like that, but things like location shooting and the right questions to ask about a location or about the pricing or things are all ballast and things I've learned from P52 Advanced and from the community as well. Has been totally, I mean, I've got my money's worth from P52 manyfold.
And the
So
community she's referring to is the private Facebook for Project 52, which is a very robust,
very,
um, really a blast. Probably the best forum.
it is the best forum on Facebook, I
Project,
think.
yeah, on Facebook. I've seen nothing, and I'm in other forums, but nothing can compete to it. We have no trolls. We have no know-it-alls. We have only one jerk, but he owns the place. But it's just a blast because being at different time zones, we got people all over the world. Sometimes you guys in Europe or Asia will start a thread, and by the time I see it, there's 15 answers, and they're all so good.
I know.
Nobody's left adrift in that group.
There's no stupid questions, and I mean, we all learn from every single question that's asked in that forum. I mean, it's yeah, and or we refer back to maybe, maybe you should see this lesson back here from what that Don did back this and that, or whatever. It's just there's always somebody's got like an answer or a suggestion, and you never feel stupid. And it's just you can sometimes feel stupid, but that's probably on purpose. But it's
The links that are posted there too are just
yeah.
if you're into photography, it's just amazing. The
And
stuff
I love it's not gear centric either. I mean, sometimes we talk a little bit about gear. That's fine. It's like, like Godox has this new thing, or what about but it's not about the gear. It's so refreshing because on a lot of the other photography forums, it's about gear and it's, the latest, this and that. sure, it'll be brought up like this latest technology or something like that, but that's not what it's about.
No, what it's about is what I love about it is people will post something like the Godox, and
Yeah.
the new Godox trigger system looks to be probably the
It's
best
good.
around
I
now,
use it. It's
you know,
great.
eclipsing all of the other, including U.S. made famous
Mhm.
pocket dragon type things. Anyway, um, it's a fabulous device. But what happens when people post about it, they post about what it can do for you, how
Yeah.
it can free up your time or make things faster or work it through, instead of just marveling at some sort of the specs or
Yeah.
whatever, which in and of themselves mean nothing. They only mean something if they work. It's
Mm.
like my iPhone 7.
Yeah.
I loved it until yesterday.
Yay! Well, congratulations.
And Apple said, put iOS 11 on. So I did.
Uh-oh.
And now it just chews through the battery. And the only reason I loved the damn thing was the battery lasted so long. So I'm back to really crappy battery life. And oh, I'm so excited about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They say you can go back. You can go up to the Apple through iTunes on a computer and reinstall the old system. But gosh, you may lose a lot of data.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's even more thrilling. I think I'll pass and just
Hmm.
hope that they come out with something better. But that's the kind of thing I think that's fascinating about Project 52, is it is so amazingly
Diverse.
diverse.
I
Absolutely.
mean, we got people from there are some enormous, hugely productive and really, really talented photographers out there, and there are people just starting. And everybody's just one big happy family kind of thing. I mean, and then we go on road trips together, and it's like, we're just one big happy family. We've known each other forever and ever and ever. I mean, I mean, people have different shooting systems. There are mirrorless people. There are people with mirrors. There are people with Nikon or Canon or Sony or whatever. It's just, but again, because it's not about the gear, it's about how you do things, how you sit, how you're going to approach a shoot, how you're going to approach a client or something. That's what's so cool about it.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Well, we figured out the recording thing and it was working. So we're back. Hi, Tammy.
Hi again.
15-minute interview that grew to an hour. That's what we're calling this episode. And for Tammy, I think it's 2 a.m. or something like that. No, 8
No,
o'clock.
no, it's not that bad yet. It's only 8:30 p.m. right now.
So in a few hours, while I'm having lunch, it'll actually be tomorrow where you are.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but then you can think of it this way: it's always beer time somewhere in the world.
It's my only saving grace right there. It's the thing that gets me through the day. So tell us a little bit, what are you specializing in now? Because when you started, you were everywhere, but now you have a couple of things you really like to do.
Well, I really like, the thing I thought I would be doing most of it, what I really love, I still love doing, is tabletop photography, you know, fiddling around with getting things set up and getting lights right and reflectors and this and that and the other thing. And because I was never going to shoot people. That was not something I wanted to do until it turns out I like shooting people. And now so I'm doing a lot of headshots. So right now what I am like going out there with is product photography, which I love doing still, and headshots. Headshots aren't difficult, but I go to the client, to their place of business, and I set up a little quick studio, and I enjoy being up there. Like, a lot of it is corporate with, I've had quite a few boards of directors and things like that, where you go in where I'm just me and I don't have, any relationship with these people other than I want them to relax and be happy. So I have I go into the bone floors of the directors and the and the management and things, and just be me and take pictures and get people to laugh, and then they go back and they straighten their ties, and they, it's fun. I really like photographing people. So now it's still product, and it's a little bit of concept was what I want to do. But I did an album cover too for a local group here, which has been accepted really well and has been getting really good comments and things. So
what?
It's just, I take what comes to me, and then because all of a sudden somebody will present you with an offer like, would you take a picture of this? And you go, I've never done that before. I don't know. So now I've learned to go, okay, maybe I'll like it. I'll try it. So now I've got these construction images that I'm taking pictures of. I never dreamed of going out taking pictures of construction sites.
You really seem to enjoy it. We were looking at them last night, I think, and you really seem to enjoy the work.
I did. It's just, being kind of like a woman photographer in this man's world kind of thing. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool. Men in hard hats. Hey.
Has being a woman in that situation, has it been a problem at any point?
As a photographer?
Yeah.
No. The only problem, I haven't had any problems or conflicts or anything like that with actually, I think being a woman photographer has made it somehow easier, because it's easier to go into to get headshots of these boards of director and kind of flirt with them, if you will. Makes them smile a little easier or something like that, where a male photographer might just go in there and it's just all business as usual. It's just, might have a different angle on getting pictures, and maybe I'm treated nicer. I don't know. Maybe I'm treated differently on a construction site because I am a woman. I don't know. I don't care. I just say, they just say, oh, be careful, that catwalk's kind of high up there. I go, well, hey, let me get up there then. So the only thing I have had issues with has been like some of the old timer photographers who think that me being an uneducated, I don't have any, I'm self-taught, and through P52 and CreativeLIVE or whatever I've dragged to me with different courses and workshops. But it's the old timer photographers that tell me, well, you don't have any education. How can you take that much money for something? I just go, well, because I can. So, and then I move on. So
yeah. There's no arguing with those people.
No, I just don't anymore. I just don't care.
So in certain parts of the world, more than other parts of the world, the education seems to be more important. And I think in Europe, there's that sort of, it's almost, in a way, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost in a way a caste system.
No, I don't think it's...
You're either university trained,
yeah,
or you're, a scrapper. And
I think that's kind of right. I think that's kind of correct. But I think, again, the people that do complain that, I don't have the education that, whatever, they're just not evolving with the way the photography is going. So that's their problem, not mine. There's plenty of work out there.
Yeah, I tell photographers, I go, back 20 years ago, to be a photographer, be a commercial photographer, you had to know this much stuff. I mean, the Ansel Adams book on cameras, film, and print, they were required reading at every photography place. They were this thick.
Yeah.
There's nothing in them. Nothing that applies to digital photography.
Yeah.
So this went down to about this.
So, and everybody's a photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet everybody's not a photographer in certain, learning the art of photography, be able to see things is what? Okay. Yeah, I got this. Sorry. So it's a different world now. I think I was not part of the analog photography world. I've never been in a dark room, so I can't compare it. I can only say what I'm experiencing now. So,
yep.
So for me, it's just, it's you evolve what's going in with the trends. Just try to keep up and just try to get yourself out there. And for me, any little job is great until I find out until I've got the money rolling in that I can say, okay, I don't want to do that. Right now, I don't have the luxury.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
I will set I have certain limits where I say, no, I won't do this or that, like weddings. No, thank you. I do consumer work as well, family portraits and things. That's fine. I don't do infants. So those are my only outliers. Otherwise, you know, you have a job for me, I'll take it and I'll figure it out later. You know?
Well,
And then maybe I'll find
enough. You know enough at the base level where you are. You're a good photographer. You know how to use your camera. You know what lenses do. You know point of view, perspective. You know lighting. You know all the little things that you need to pick up. Like we were talking about your experience in an industrial photographer. So the top industrial photographer may be here.
Yeah.
You're not here. You're like here. It's just the little nuance.
The little nuances, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you can either pick it up as you go along, or find that you don't like the work, or what have you. But you're not. It's not like, oh gosh, I've got to start my entire career over again.
Nope. I've just one of the first things I started doing was just Googling architectural photographers and finding some really cool ones and thinking, oh wow, look what they can do. You know, how do they do that, and what do they do there? And you know, I was thinking about how I can apply that to some of these simple jobs that are coming up. So it's not the same grandeur as these, you know, huge, really good architectural photographers, but I can draw from the images and I can see, okay, what is it my images lack that they have? Okay, they do this and that, and they have this kind of angle, and they remember it. So it's an education constantly.
Yeah, there was also in Project 52, we have a lot of women in Project 52.
Yeah.
And that's exciting for me, because whenever I see something about, you know, there's no women in the business, no women in photography, I'm going, in Project 52, we're running about 55 to 60% women.
Really? Is that much?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The one that just finished, when we started, we were 55% women.
Wow.
Yep. So, and we have been, the very first year it was more men. And the last 2 years we've had lots of women. It's great to see women getting into it. I think there's a certain amount of comfort in the community and in the classes, etc., that make it work really well. But I just love it. We
all take care of each other. We all take care of each other in the community, and that's what I think that's women feel safe, or newbies feel safe. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, everybody tells me that. Everybody says, gosh, it's just amazing when you're new. Everybody's there for you. Well, exactly. Tammy, would you recommend people go to Project 52?
Definitely. I would have. I mean, my husband and I were just talking about, he said, well, you know, how much, you know, did you pay for these? They've been worth it. I said, oh my goodness, they've been worth it. It's, I mean, yeah. If you have any desire or wish to improve your photography for commercial reasons, if you want to be a commercial photographer or get into commercial photography and get into a great community, definitely. It's just, yes.
I have raised the price this year. It's $4.7 million.
It's a steal.
And you know, I just got to build that retirement up. I'm just going for one guy, one gal, one check. I'm out of here.
Sayonara.
See you later. I'll even send you my cameras, folks. Have a nice day. So, but it's been a blast for me. We're starting again. We're starting with this community aspect rather than the week by week. You know, starting at one spot. I want to build a community of 150, 200, maybe that many. Maybe that many's too many. It's not a money-making proposition for me. It's a community, and seeing people come into it and then go out and become photographers. And, you know, we've got Eric and Steve and yourself and Sam and so many people who've just made that leap and are doing well. It's always hard at first. I never guarantee anything because it's just bloody hard.
And it's up to the individual too. I mean, you can take all the courses, but if you don't have the gumption, if you don't have the will to go through it, to do the work, well,
yep.
You know.
Whenever you're working for yourself and you're working in a service industry and you're working in a niche service industry, it's hard. It's just as hard, to be a famous rock guitar player. It's just as hard to be a poet or a writer or all of those things. It's just flat hard. It's not easy. But I think if we keep equipping people with the right tools, at least we're going to make that current, we're going to, make it a little softer against you. And I never lead people on with oh, it's easy.
No.
Only have to work 1 hour a week in your pajamas and money you got to get a bigger mailbox. I hate
pajamas do work sometimes.
Tammy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
All right, take care. We'll see you on the boards.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.